was about 18 months ago that I got introduced to Healy here in Bali. I'm actually in Taryn and Sarah Blacker's team. Very, very honoured to be working around these ladies. And for those of you that may not know, but Taryn is our huge, great ambassador for Healy, empowering females all over the world to step into the role of leadership in the Healy organisation. And she's been on tour and has met up with a few of you in the UK. So I was able to tap into her expertise and just literally be a sponge. But what really triggered me to find out a bit more about Healy, why Healy and why now, was that having been in the physical world of fitness, there was always something just a little bit missing. You know, I'm fit, I'm active, I eat well, I you know, put myself through a vast amount of exercise with the intention of being that role model at the front of the class or, you know, with my clients. But you know what, sometimes I'm not having the best sleep. And sometimes I'm not feeling like, you know, doing it. It's a bit of going through the motions. You know, sometimes, you know, I do get anxious. And of course, at the time when Healy came to me, we were right in the sort of 6 months into 2020. And I've got 2 bricks and mortar businesses. One's a cafe, vegetarian cafe, and directly opposite is the gym, boutique fitness gym. And we were struggling. We were struggling with being on a tourist island and no tourists. So you can appreciate that the anxiousness that I was feeling was very real. Apart from that, I had a 19-year-old, at the time, 18-year-old daughter in Perth, and I couldn't get her out of Australia. So I was starting to just feel that this was starting to become a bit overwhelming, yet I knew that I was doing all the right things within my fitness sphere and my fitness arena, and, you know, helping other people, and especially women going through the menopausal years, having gone through it myself, you know, what we can do to tap into the best years of our life, which is once menopause is over. I mean, it's not over at all by a long shot. In fact, we just step into the best part of what we are. So I was really trying to see where the missing link was and all of this. So I got introduced to Healy 18 months ago. And honestly, I have not regretted an absolute day with not having my Healy, and to the point where I've actually got 4 now. So I lend a couple of Healys out. My husband has a Healy, you know, we've just recently had to share it because we had lent that Healy out, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare trying to get that Healy off Pete. Honestly, the 2 of us were almost kind of, I was going, this is not what it's all about. Anyway, we've now got all our Healys back. But for me, I just started to feel, it was more of a subtle change, I guess, for me, but I was just starting to feel a lot calmer and a lot more at peace with what was happening in my world. And I know that all of us have been affected by it, but what was happening in my world suddenly became easier to digest and easier to understand. And I started running the sleep programs. That was really the first big key area that I was running to start with, was the sleep, understanding that without good sleep, we just cannot function on our day-to-day. And of course, remembering that my function of my day, and this isn't to pat me on the back or anything, but my normal routine is I get up, I go for a run, and I teach a class, and then I do some clients. So that's my norm. And that was where I was kind of like just going, oh my goodness, I'm dragging myself out of bed, you know, showing up, putting on the mask, doing the whole hello, welcome to, you know, fitness. And then really just finding myself just going through a sort of like the afternoon slump. So I started running more of the sleep programs. And then as they were starting to work, and we had a massive effect on the sleep programs, just vibrating it into our bedrooms. Both me, Pete, and the dog were having amazing sleeps. We've got 4 Bali dogs, by the way, so I need my dogs to have sleep, otherwise they're just like kids. But we were just kind of going, wow, this is something. So then, of course, I really wanted to see what the correlation was between physical fitness and energetic fitness. And what I wanted to know for me was how I could assist and help the members of our gym. And so what I started to do actually was I started to vibrate the frequencies into the class. So in our gym, it's a boutique fitness gym. We're called 15 Fit in Bali. If any of you ever visit Bali, do come and look us up. 15 Fit in Bali, directly opposite is Cafe Couscous, vegetarian restaurant. So, you know, hashtag nice fit. That's what we do. But I really wanted to see the direct link between our energetic fitness and the physical side of things, because physically I was feeling great, but energetically I was feeling flat. And so I thought, well, if that's me feeling like this when I'm already on the energetic wheel, how are other people feeling this when they're sort of going through, you know, those years where everything is just starting to wear you down and your metabolism rate is slipping and the lack of activity is slipping, the want and the desire of doing activity is slipping. You know, how can I work through this with my clients? So I started to vibrate. I started to vibrate the frequencies into the room, which was really cool, actually. So we've got a spin studio. So I was checking in on the fitness folder, and during the spinning classes, either I was running the Healy on me with stamina and performance, or I was vibrating the top 5 that came up in the scan. So exactly what Karen has just done with the group now. I would take a picture of the group sitting on the bikes, you know, and just plug that in and scan the group with the intention that I wanted them to achieve what they had come to get out of being 1 hour in my space, or in our space, mine and my husband's space. You know, the gym environment is very much the third space. And so, you know, you have your home, you have your work, and then you have a third space. And very much so in the last sort of 10 years, the footprint of gyms has become a third space for so many people. And therefore, if they're giving up their energy and their time to be with me, I wanted them to be able to walk out of my space and their third space feeling empowered, inspired, ready to face their day, and kind of like forgetting about their busy life for that 1 hour, because the busy life is still going to be there once they've left the gym, right? So that's what I was doing. So I was tapping into the frequencies within the fitness program as a group, and then also tapping into tapping into what I wanted to achieve myself, and tapping into the programs when I was actually teaching. You know, how was I feeling to teach maybe a double class, or how was I feeling if I went for a run and then had to teach like a weights class? You know, how did I regenerate afterwards so I could do all of that again the following day? And I just, you know, I have to say, yes, it was subtle. You know, how are you going to feel on your performance? How are you going to feel on regeneration? You just feel different, and you just feel one step up from how you were feeling before. And I always liken the Healy to a bit like, you know, when we first start taking vitamins, and you don't feel that dramatic change of taking your vitamin supplements. You know, you don't suddenly go, oh, it's amazing, just like that. But when you come off the vitamins, you suddenly go, oh yes, now I'm not feeling so great. So there's a sort of like distinct change of being on something that just subtly enters into your system, and it has been a subtle thing for me over the last 18 months. But you know, in a world that really became quite a struggle for us here on Bali, and I know there's struggles all over the place, but you know, in a world of where we haven't seen any planes for 18 months, and we were just kind of hanging on to that ledge, we got through it with actual quite a bit of calmness and peace, as opposed to the anger that we potentially could have been feeling towards the whole situation. And I'll talk about my husband, actually, because he has seen more of a physical change than my subtle change. But he also is very renowned in the fitness industry. He took Les Mills. For those of you that might know, Les Mills is a New Zealand group of programs. He took Body Pump and all of the Les Mills programs around the world 25 years ago. So he, in the eyes of group fitness, is a bit of a rock star, right? So he was one of the original 5 road warriors that went out on the road 25 years ago and took Pump, as it was then, to the world. And, you know, he's sort of in his late 50s, about to turn 60, and he was just going through this 50-year-old funk that we all go through when we just suddenly feel that the body is really not going to kind of like play with us anymore, and how we can do it. And he was struggling with gout. Now, I don't know if any of you know what gout feels like, but it's excruciatingly painful. And it's where your joints and the bone, the calcium is just grinding. And it tends to happen in the joints areas. So the big toe, the ankle, the knee, could also happen in the hip. For him, it was very much in the toe and the knee. And he would just twinge it, knock it, you know, just trip up a step, and all of a sudden the swelling started to come. And there he was, this rock star of group fitness, hobbling into the gym on crutches to teach a spin class. Not a great look, I have to say. And he was asking me to teach. So he was feeling that he was letting the team down. It is just me and him. I'm teaching more classes than I really need to or should be. And he's just laid up on crutches. And he said, look, babe, if anything is going to help, I'm going to give it a go. He has not had one bout of gout in 18 months. Not one. Now that, I think, is absolutely frigging remarkable. And what that allowed him and inspired him and motivated him to do was to pick up running again. Previously, he couldn't run because the impact was too much on his joints. You know, he was a rugby player, and therefore he's kind of like a little bit stocky up top. And he was sort of like carrying quite a bit of this extra weight on his quite skinny legs. He won't mind me talking about him like this, but on his quite skinny legs. And so every time he ran, it would just needle, and he just couldn't do it. I'm a runner, he's a lover. So he just never ran. Anyway, the Healy and the non-gout that he's had has just inspired him to put the trainers on and go running. He is now running 5K every day. So, you know, a regular 30K a week. He shifted 10Ks. He is feeling not his 60 years, which of next year. He is feeling younger every minute. The 50-year-old funk has drifted away. Of course, that's been brilliant for us as a family. And he swears by it. And he just says, everyone should have access to the Healy. It should be in everybody's household. It's a non-negotiable. It is worth every single penny, cent, pound, dollar, whatever it is. Everyone should have one, and everyone should get on it. Because like I said, what happened for me, it was the subtleness of the change. It wasn't that I woke up one morning and everything was great and we were suddenly, you know, having amazing days in the cafe. That didn't happen. But we were able to cope with, you know, the quiet periods far greater than I believe I was heading down that path. And then for my husband to suddenly come out and lose 10 kilos and not have a bout of gout, because he's running the toxins, he's running bacteria, he's running his organs, he's running programs for connective tissue, he's running his joints and bones. He loves the release program from Gold. And I think, Kathy, because you haven't been involved in Healy, this is all kind of like, you know, what are we talking about? But once you go back to the person that invited you on here, and they'll be able to explain, it really is a case of just understanding that we are energy with a meat suit. And the meat suit that we have on us is what people see and we can touch and feel. But if our energy, which is kind of like what the video at the start was saying, is diseased or traumatized or inflamed or lacking the recharge, then that's going to have a direct effect on what we see here. So it's no good looking great and feeling shit. So basically, all right, it's no good going into that 1 hour class, putting the mask on, and then walking out of the class and just going, I can't cope with the rest of my day because I didn't sleep last night. I'm anxious about my daughter in Perth, you know, and stuff like that. So I just felt that something, that missing link was the frequencies that were tapping into my energetic field and tapping into my cellular membrane. So I kind of, it's, you know, we plug our phone in, we plug our laptop in, I plug my body in. That's it really. I just put myself on charge. And throughout the day, I run 3 programs a day. Pete is a big advocate for that. I do sometimes wear the coil, but I love the microcurrents, which is what I'm all plugged into at the moment. On this recording, I'm running activation because I wanted to be inspired and up and kind of, you know, engaging you guys and, you know, and kind of giving you what you had wanted to get out of this call. I hope I have. And I just feel that we're at a point now where people need to really look at their wellness. And it's no good being fit and being unwell. You need to be well. And are you? You know, my question is how well are you? And I think we can all do with a dose of wellness every day and plugging ourselves into a wellness device. And I don't know how it works. I have no idea. And I don't really mind not knowing. I am so encouraged by what Healy World is bringing out in the next products. I'm encouraged by the constant research that they're tapping into. I'm quite happy to leave all the science to the scientists, and I believe and am very confident in this device that we can tap into. And you know, if you're not tapping into a Healy, then tap into something, but tap into something that is going to give you the results in your wellness, because we aren't finished at 50 or 60 or 70. We have a massive long way to go. And I still want to be climbing volcanoes when I'm in my 80s. And, you know, as much as, you know, I think I might be fit enough, if I'm not getting all the other energetic, you know, at the deeper level, Karen was saying, you know, how you start off, but going into the deeper level, I just want to be continually feeling well. And I'll just say this because it's actually been on my mind a lot, but I've actually got a dear friend of mine who is in New Zealand at the moment, just gone through a bone marrow transplant. So we're sending her love, but I'm actually vibrating the frequencies to her in New Zealand. And by doing, she very much is a believer of frequencies and energy. So she's very open to accepting all of this. But this is, you know, we can't claim that we're going to cure anything or diagnose or whatever, but it's giving her hope. And that's what I mean. If it's giving her hope and giving her something to attach onto, then that's great. And we just do that. So I just wanted to throw in a big a big support for my beautiful friend down there in New Zealand, and we will get through it. We will get through it. So please ask away any questions.
Thank you so much. That was just is so inspiring. And it's a case of, how many more people can we share with your story, your testimonial? Because how many people are struggling, and how can we get this device in the home? There's no reason why we can't get this in the homes.
Not at all. I mean, I'll just have a look. Were there any questions? I didn't look at the questions.
Dina's got her hand up, so
kind of like was going through any of the questions here.
Thank you, Yvette.
Hey, you're welcome, girlfriend.
Amazing. Hey, my question to you is, as I'll be 57 at the end of the month and trying to build muscle tone, like I definitely need to hydrate more. It's never been my strong suit, even though I would tell my massage clients, hydrate. So I'm working on that, but my muscle tone, like in my arms, I used to do so much massage. I'm not licensed in Florida, so I really don't do them anymore. And I'm focused on Healy, but I get that, like when I put my arms down, you get that little sagging skin thing, which has gotten better. I use my Pilates ring, but what do you use? What do you suggest for women who are aging with the Healy and, doing your workouts, like I use Pilates and to tone the body up again and to get that tightness? What would you suggest? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, unfortunately, muscle is one of the first things that goes when we get through the menopause. So the menopause, I mean, I always say, God gave us periods, then he gave us pregnancy, then he gave us birth. And if that wasn't enough, he then gave us menopause. So thank you, God, for all of that, throwing all of that in. But really on the menopause, it's the hormonal balance would be a program I definitely run. Lymphatic system, I love. Okay. Because that just gets rid of the toxins. So, but with regards specifically to the muscle tone, Healy is not going to give you muscle tone.
Right.
So what you need to do is you need to do body weight exercises, and you need to put your body under stress, where what you're doing is you actually are breaking down the muscle, because that's what we do in the gym environment, is we break down the muscle, and then the regeneration or the repair happens afterwards. So that's when you start to repair the muscle, and then the muscle comes back stronger and more healthy. So get into the gym and break down, or just do your own body weight exercises, good old push-ups, squats, tricep dips, all of those. You don't have to go to a gym, just get out there and use your own body weight as the intensity. And then what happens then is, once you break down the muscle, then you build it up again and it comes back stronger. So when it's coming back stronger, that's when I would start to use the programs like regeneration, programs like stamina in the fitness programs. I love the all-female kidney program. I run that 3 times a week, because you've got to try and release the toxins. If you're holding on to the toxins, that's when you're starting to start to get this kind of soft looking physical body, molecular body, I guess. You need to release the toxins, allow that to come out of you. So make sure you're tapping into your organs that eliminate waste. Make sure you're staying hydrated, and get in and do some form of exercise where you break the muscle down to then build it up better. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's amazing. And for me, for sure, because I have low blood sugar, I have to have a lot of protein,
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And in the protein is, of course, the protein synthesis is also being researched, that you increase your protein synthesis. So protein is going to be an energy supply to build the muscle. So what you need to do is make sure that you're breaking the muscle down enough to kind of like suck into the protein to use as fuel to build the muscle back up again. So you're on the right path. And, like I said, menopause, sort of mid-40s to mid-50s is kind of just one of those things. And we I just want to inspire women it's not the end of the world. You will get through it, and get through it in a well way.
Yeah, thank you. I've been like no moon for 4 years, and I honestly, like everybody that has a Healy gets so excited. There's so many programs, and I'll run certain ones, but May Chung said it. She maybe uses 10% of all the programs because you have your favorites. So you brought up some that I really don't use enough, and I need to.
Yes, yeah, do. I mean, yeah, it's
Thank
funny
you.
how you get yourself attached to and everything, but yeah, I've got quite a few. I mean, being in the fitness world, I love the fitness programs. So, you know, before I go and do a class or before I'm doing a run, I might run stamina, or if I'm climbing a mountain, you know, something like that. So I kind of like just get my cells ready for what I'm about to do. I love, love, love regeneration. I find that that really does help with repairing, rebuilding, restoring, ready for the next day's event. So definitely tap into those, just give it a go, but don't just do it the one time, you know, set yourself up for a week of these programs. Like I said, it's going to be a very, very subtle difference. Potentially, I mean, it could be huge, of course, but potentially it could be a very subtle difference. And just get in there and just be open to what this device can do. Just get
Thank
it.
you.
Get one, use it. Be well.
Just amazing. It's just hearing how many different things and what you can do with the Healy is just mind blowing, because it's nothing set in stone. You know, like we've said, 10% of the Healy, you know, that 10% of the programs, and we've got so many, and it's like a kid in a sweetie shop. Which one will I pick? What will I do today? And every day you could have a different one, you know. But it's just being aware of taking time to look after you, look after your body, look after your mind and your soul. And that's all part of it. So Yvette, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're
It
very
was
welcome. Thanks for
fantastic
having
as
me.
always.
Thank you
And
for having me. Good
I hope,
luck. Good luck with the
thank
roadshow. And, you know, let me know if there's anything I can do to help from this end. And yeah, but it will, you know, you'll get people coming along, and that's
thank
it.
you
You
so
know,
much.
just
Yes,
talk authentically and from the heart, and it'll be
magic.
fine.
Thank you
All
so
right. Lots
much.
of love. Lots of
Yes,
love, all of you. Big
thank
hugs.
you. So what we want to do now is we're going to start closing off. So if you have any more questions and you would like to actually experience the Healy, please go back to the person who invited you here. And if you just happen to find it on Eventbrite or on Facebook or that, you know, just get back in touch with us. We have the roadshow. You can see for our backgrounds here, we've got London 21st of June, Manchester 23rd, and Edinburgh the 25th of June. So if you can, come and join us. It's going to be lots of fun. There's lots of high vibe, but also it's a case of meeting other people who are using it, listening to their experiences. You know, there's nothing that nobody has even or not even experienced, and it goes through different walks of life, you know, ranging from babies right the way through to the elderly. There's nothing that's going to say this frequencies can't help. There's always a solution. So I'd like to thank you for your time today. Anita, did you have a question?
I just wanted to say, you know, with the Healy, and I've had my Healy for like 18 months or something, and I tell you what, I wouldn't be without it, because health is wealth, because without your health, you don't have anything. But I just subscribed to the digital nutrition app that's actually included in one of the Healys now. Oh my goodness. So I scanned myself yesterday, and I've been a little bit lax with it, and I've just been pinging it into my field. But vegan came up, libido came up. You know, there is a frequency in digital nutrition for everything. And do you know what's really lovely about that is I'm re-inspired to really make this a part of my routine. You know how sometimes life can get busy and you don't put your frequencies on. Oh my goodness. You know, I just wanted to hop in and say that. I am blown away with digital nutrition, literally. Yeah, I just had to say that.
Fabulous. Thanks, Anita, for sharing. So if we have any other, does anyone have any other questions? Kathy, do you have anything, or you?
No questions, but thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been really interesting.
Excellent. And we're having calls on, you know, Wednesdays, 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. And it's more or less the same kind of format. So, you know, there's nothing stopping you just hopping on again and coming in, having another listen. Fabulous. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening, afternoon, or morning for us in the UK.
Thank you, ladies.
And we'll see you later.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Yvette. That was awesome. Thank you,
Thanks,
Karen.
Yvette.
Thank you.